Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kaylee and today we are back on BooVille, our super festive Halloween Citycore Island. And today we're going to be working on a cul-de-sac build with a few of the villager homes. And there's a lot to do today, so let's get right into it. Alright, so this build is going to be right next to our entrance, and then up here we'll have my villager home, and across the street we'll have a small little plant shop build that we'll add here. And then we'll have this street that goes up to connect to the cul-de-sac, and on both sides of the cul-de-sac we'll have a villager home, and in the center will be our big pumpkin display. Okay, so the first step for this build is to make the actual cul-de-sac, and we have a similar roundabout in the entrance, but that one is a little different because it's diagonal and not very symmetrical from each side. But this one we're making today is basically the opposite of that, so it will be shaped pretty much like a diamond and each side will be equal, so it's symmetrical. The best tip I have for making a cul-de-sac or a roundabout is to get the general idea of where you want the loop to be and then work from the outside in. You'll see in the video that when I'm laying down the diagonal roads, I go one row at a time. So I start with the diagonal piece that includes the sidewalk border, and then I'll move one tile in and add the little corner leaf pieces that like finishes the diagonal, and then I'll move over again with our blank road piece, and this process just helps me make sure that I'm making the road the correct width, because if I don't do that in order, I was finding myself making the road a tile too small and it looked very odd in comparison to my horizontal and vertical streets because all of those are 3 tiles wide. I'm also going to mention that I did forget to add the road lines in this video, but I did realize it afterwards and added those bad boys in after this video. And now that our cul-de-sac is completed, I'm moving over to the front section of this build and starting with a little plant shop. So this is right next to the Nook's Cranny build that we did last week, and there was this small little 6x6 square between the shop and the road, and I was kind of lost on what I wanted to do here because at first I thought I could put a house here, but it's kind of small for like an entire villager home, and I kind of wanted to make another villager neighborhood, which we'll start on today. And then I remember in our resident services build, we made a cute little newspaper stand area using the codes from Tropikitch. And I remembered that she had another set of those standee designs on her island, New Nook, and this one is for Leaf's Flowers. And as you may know, Leaf is tied for my favorite NPC in this game. It's between Leaf and Flick, so of course I would love to give him his own little plant shop on the island. Which brings up the fact that I wish we had more buildings to play with in this game, because right now we only have resident services, which we can't even move if we wanted to, and then the 2 shops and the museum. But imagine if a Leaf got his own little shop on your island. I mean, they kind of did that with Harv's Island, but not on your own island. Like, I want an own little store for each of those villagers, not just a, like, what are those, like vans on Harv's Island. And honestly, I'm kind of torn because I think a plant shop would be adorable, but that would also mean it's probably one more building that I would have to trap on the beaches for most of my islands, since most of the time I just hide the shops in the museums anyways. So maybe I don't think we want to do more shops on the island, but I just wish it was something that we could decide, like give me the choice to add them to my island. Because I think in the game, buildings work for Citycore, but they don't work for all of them, so if we had the choice to add more buildings, that would be fantastic. And now our little plant shop is basically complete. And again, it's just made out of 4 face cutout standees, 2 stalls, and 2 bookshelves. And then I just added some plant related items to clutter up the front, and I just wanted an excuse to use the garden wagon because it is a beautiful item. Now we can get started working on the big pumpkin centerpiece, and just know that I love how this area turned out, so hopefully you like it as well. And just like I said in our planning video, I wanted to add a few like pumpkin centerpiece areas on the island, and we have one by resident services with the big pumpkin carriage, but in this spot I really wanted to use the gazebo item, especially this rusted variant, because I think it is so pretty and I rarely use it and I want to use it more often. But this area is giving me Halloween movie vibes, and we actually just started watching Halloween movies basically every night at my house, and I just love the fall season with all of the cozy movies. But we've also been watching scarier Halloween movies as well, Like the other day we watched The Conjuring, which is one of my favorite scary movies of all time. I just love like haunting stories and scary ghost movies. I don't really believe in ghosts, but they make for really good movies and TV shows. And when I was young, like 10 years old, I was addicted to this show called The Haunting. I think it was like on Discovery Channel or something, but every day during the summer I would watch this show in the afternoon. And it was kind of like a documentary style show where they did like reenactments and then interviewed the people who lived in the haunted homes. And let me tell you, I was hooked on this show. And I would watch it with my little cousin, and now looking back on that, I probably shouldn't have been watching a scary-ish style show with my cousin who was maybe like 3 or 4 at the time. But I was like 10 years old, so I don't really have an excuse for that. But my cousin was also obsessed with the movie Coraline, which again is kind of scary for such a young kid. So I don't know if I'm the one that made her like scarier things, or maybe I just got lucky and she already liked them. But she seems to be a pretty normal kid now, so I don't think I did too much damage, so don't blame me. We also watched 2 of the Scream movies, which I've actually never seen before, and they were pretty good. It definitely has that feeling of like a late 90s movie, but I just saw that they came out with a new one in 2022 with Jenna Ortega, so I will definitely need to watch all of them so I can watch this new one, because I do really like Jenna Ortega. Like, I loved her in the newish Wednesday Addams show. That show was a little bit different than what I had initially thought it was like going to be about, but I did enjoy the show and her acting in it, so I will definitely want to watch her in the new Scream movie. But it's fun because the Scream movies have that mystery of who is doing all the killing in the town, and me and my husband were trying the whole time to make guesses of who it was in the second movie, because the first one we didn't really know what was happening, so in the second one we could actually make guesses of who it was, and he actually got one of the 2 people correct, so that was crazy because I didn't even think for a second that it could have been that person. And I don't want to spoil the movie in case you haven't seen it, but also it's been out for like over 20 years, so I don't know if you can spoil a movie that old. But definitely leave all of your Halloween movie recommendations down in the comments. They can be the cozier movies like Halloween Town, which again is one of my favorite like Halloween movies, or they can be the scarier ones like The Conjuring, because it is nice to mix it up so I don't have to watch like 17 scary movies in a row. But like I said, I do really like scary movies, so definitely leave those if you have recommendations as well. But I also feel like I'm getting more scared in movies than I used to. I don't know, is that like something that happens when you get older? Like watching the Conjuring movie, I swear I was just like peeking my eyes like right above my blanket because I knew there was going to be jump scares. But I don't remember being like that like 5 years ago. I guess the older I get, I just become more scared of these things, but I also don't know if it's because I have seen the movie before, so I kind of knew what was going to happen. Like I didn't remember the whole movie, but I had a general idea of what happened, so maybe I was just pre-scared because I already knew what was going to happen. I don't know. It's just a theory. But while I've been ranting about scary movies, we finished the pumpkin centerpiece and we finished decorating outside of my house. And right now it's just the generic large house, but near the end of the video I'll go and customize it to make it fit the theme a little bit better. And I think I mentioned it in one of my videos. It might have actually been in one of my Clover videos, but initially I was planning to use all 10 villager homes and all 6 of the island rep houses on the island, and I went ahead and made all of the 6 rep houses on a member only video. But however, I'm running out of room on the island, so I definitely want to do the pumpkin patch and the fall festival, and then after this video we'll have 3 more villager homes, and I have a plan for those which I'll probably do offline because it would just be like a super short video which probably wouldn't be super entertaining, so I'll just do those offline and then you can see them in the final product of the island. And then we'll still have 5 island rep houses. I think I can squeeze in 2 of them in this one area on the island, but I think I'm going to have to get rid of the other 3. I just had so many plans for this island, and these 3 special builds, the pumpkin patch, the fall festival, and the university build, just take up a good amount of room. So I'd rather get rid of the 3 homes because I'd rather have the 3 fun builds rather than just 3 more houses. So I think I'm gonna get rid of the houses and just do the super fun builds. Anyways, those are, like I said, more fun and entertaining for you guys to watch and more fun for me to decorate around. So that's just a little update on my plans for the island. And back to the build for a minute, we are pretty much done decorating around these 2 villager homes. I went ahead and added the natural square table with a little spooky tree on top to both of the villager homes on their little like patio, and I think it looks so cute. It looks like they're handing out candy, and that's just adorable to me. And then I also gave them a few extra spooky items to make it a little bit more Halloween-y. And this is kind of my plans for the rest of the villager homes as well. They'll just be farther down the street and basically the same decorations. And then around it, I just added a few of the natural items like trees, flowers, and bushes. And I think this area turned out so cute. But this is basically the end of the video. I did just want to include this part of me picking out my house, which I think is a super cute combination. But let's take a quick look at the final build. But that is the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Before you leave, make sure to give the video a like, comment, and to subscribe to the channel. And if you watched to the end of the video, let me know in the comments what your favorite scary movie is, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends!